Last week, Scott and I did a presentation, and during that, I talked about the importance of getting back to basics when it comes to our planning. The importance for me to make sure that everybody in my orbit, whether it's our team members, family members, clients, had things buttoned up this year. Taken care of, whether it's insurance or estate planning, that everything had been looked at just to make sure that there weren't going to ever be any surprises for anybody that's important to me. And after that conversation, somebody came up and asked me how I'm uncomfortable talking to my mom and dad about this. And so I thought perhaps other people might have an interest. And so I just want to share with you what I would say. And this is true of the wanting to understand or have a conversation about estate planning, but it also could be long-term care. It could be any difficult conversation. And so if it were me, this is what I would say. I'd say, Mom or Dad, I was listening to something this week, and one of the things that they talked about was kind of the big picture importance of planning and making sure that everything had been looked at and was taken care of. And I want you to know that this is a little bit of an uncomfortable, or could be an uncomfortable subject, because nobody wants to talk about things like wills and insurance. But I just want you to know, I want to create space for us to be able to have that conversation. You can step into it anytime you want to or never. I just want to make sure that you know that it is uncomfortable for me, but I also understand it might be uncomfortable for you. And I want you to know we can talk about it anytime you ever want to. And that's it. I think a lot of times we make things more complicated than we need to. I heard it once said, if there's ever an elephant in the room, just introduce him and ask him to sit down. I think this is one of those kinds of conversations. I also think that for parents talking to grown children, and grown could mean, maybe in the upper teens, young professional, or grown children, it can be uncomfortable to talk about money in both directions. In either of those cases, I think that the same conversation is both appropriate and relatively simple. So if it were me, that's the phrasing I would use to have any kind of conversation that made me feel a little bit weird about money, but that somebody was important enough to me to make sure that I wanted to have. So I hope it helps. If I can ever be a resource, please don't hesitate to let me know. See you soon.